Welcome back to my channel. Okay, y'all knew I was coming back with the review of The Love Experiment. Um, this was episode 8. Now, I think it's very wild how they were able to fit. I think they were filming for almost 3 months and they fit it all into 8 weeks. Okay, a lot happened in these episodes. The episodes were packed. It kind of, they kept introducing, things along the journey of the show. So I thought that was very interesting. It kept everybody's attention. Well, it kept my attention. And so just to refresh your memory about what the point of the love experiment is, the women are 3 best friends and they come on there to date these bachelors, okay? They get to pick the men. They are supposed to be looking for the one, okay? So they have dates, and some of the dates have been 24 hours. The men get to show their creativity, and they did a talent show, and a couple of letters were written. It was a very interesting show overall. Now, my question is there going to be a reunion? Now, I did happen to catch Josiah's IG live one day. I'm sure he's probably doing more now, but I caught one of his IG lives and he answered a couple of questions. I thought Josiah was very cool. So I was glad that it worked out the way it did, because I was like, come on, Tam, you've got to see Josiah over the other guy. No shade to the other guy, but Josiah Josiah kept it real. So the last episode was the Hall of Reality, where the women got to talk to friends, a sister, and even an ex of the connections that they're having right now. Some of the standout situations from this season for me were Kenny. Kenny was just an asshole, and then had the nerve to come back and continue to be an asshole. And then the crazy thing is that Tamara was the one bringing people back. None of her people that she brought back worked, because then she brought back freaking Mike, and Mike was a puddle, and then he was acting like an asshole as well. And it just did not work for her, okay? So this episode, the ladies enter the hall for the last time, and they all have 2 picks. This time when they enter the hall, they have to pick the one. They have to send the other person home. So it's only the 2 men and the woman in there that's gonna do the choosing. So it got hella emotional. I think Mars had to take a step out. Tamara definitely walked out because she got emotional. But Tamara has Jamal and Josiah. Mars has Chuck and Yannick. And I have to say, I am surprised that Chuck made it this far, because Chuck, they had a connection on that first date, but he kind of was just hanging in there. They didn't kiss, so you just didn't see any sparks with them. So I was just surprised that he hung around for as long as he did. And Paige has Justin and Isaac. Now, I think her and Isaac are cute together, but I really never saw them for a long-term relationship. Her and Justin connected from the beginning. So, I knew she was gonna pick Justin. So before they go into the final hall, the fellas get a message saying that they have to write down some words of commitment. So these words are gonna be like the last thing that they get to say to the ladies before the ladies make their decisions. So the ladies are still struggling with their decisions. Like, it could go either way based on the way that they're showing us. They meet with the relationship expert and they go over like all their concerns and trying to stop doing old patterns, things like that. So, but it seems like they're down to the wire trying to figure out who they're gonna pick. But as they're talking to the relationship expert, the question came up of, do the ladies think that these men are better than the past men that they dated? And they all say yeah. So I guess that's kind of interesting, because just because they're better than all the men that they've dated doesn't mean that it's going to be the right choice, either one of them. So, I would not want to be in their shoes. Now, Tamara, it's time for them to go into this hall, and Tamara, all the girls are nervous, but Tamara goes in and Josiah reads his words. I feel like Josiah was real authentic, you know what I mean? He did a good job. And then she goes over and talks to Jamal, and Jamal just comes off like he got the personality where, he's only going to say certain things more than once. He doesn't want to repeat himself. He comes off as somebody that doesn't want to repeat himself. And he just kind of seemed like, Tamara's explaining that Jamal seems closed off and she will have to dig to get stuff out of him, and she could see herself getting lost in him. So at that point, I knew she wasn't going to pick him. He said he put it all on the table, but one of the things she said that concerned me was that sometimes he's like a shell of a man when she's talking to him, and I'm like, damn. I mean, I give her points for keeping it real, but that kind of took the wind out of me. So I know he was just like, oh my goodness. So I knew she wasn't gonna pick him. But before Tam made her pick, she walked out and she got like really emotional. So then she comes back in, she picks Josiah. She said she's gonna stop getting into relationships based on potential. And we do that a lot as women, right? We thinking, oh, he's this, he's that. And the potential that you see is not really even in play. So it's like, what are you doing? Now, Mars goes in to talk to Chuck and Yannick, and Chuck tells her that he did pull away I guess after he saw Yannick kiss her or whatever. And they just kind of seem like they got a friend vibe. She ends up picking Yannick, but Yannick, was like, but I didn't really see a connection with them like I saw with Justin and Paige and Tam and others. I don't know. I was just concerned about that. Yannick just seems like he just like, okay, well, whatever happens. So then Paige goes in and she has Justin and she has Isaac. Now, Isaac pulled out all the stops. He actually got plane tickets to come to Atlanta. So he was trying to show how serious he was. So then Paige goes over to talk to Justin. Justin, said what he had to say, but Justin came prepared, okay? Last episode, I was trying to figure out why Paige was screaming like something was going on. And this episode, we find out that Justin came all the way prepared and he proposed, okay? And she cried out, all right? So I think that they did make a good couple. Based on the men that she was dating, they had a connection from jump. And it just seemed like they, kind of fit each other. So I guess that was a good pick too. Now, what I want to know is there going to be a reunion? I want to know, are they going to have another season of the show? Like, what's going on? Like, I really am still stuck on the fact that it was only an 8-week show. That's interesting to me, since all the other shows that we watch, they go on for at least 10 weeks. Not including the reunions and stuff. So I thought that was great how they were able to package all that stuff up in there. And they did good with picking the men that the women were able to make matches with. So that was pretty good. And they had the relationship expert thrown in there. So we'll keep an eye out to see if they're going to do a reunion, because I'm all the way here for that. When I watched Josiah's Instagram live the other day, he seemed still pumped. People in the comments were, saying good things. Everybody wanted to see Tam. She came through the chat, but she was driving, he said. So, but they have something that's coming up soon where they're going to, I guess, tell the world. But he seems still excited. So are they still together? I think the answer is yes. I don't know about the other girls. I got to look further into that and see if anybody's going to be interviewing them since the show is done airing. So I would like to know how they're, how we talk about the experience of people from Ready to Love. I would like to know what the background on this show was, as far as what their experience was, how the accommodations were. Did they feed them, right? Like things like that, so we can compare it to the shows that we watch more of on the regular, like Ready to Love, Love is Blind and things like that. So I'm interested to see that. If y'all know, get in the comments below and let me know where to watch these interviews at. If they do a reunion, I'm gonna be back to review that. So in the meantime, put your comments below. Did you like this show? Do you want a season 2? Like, will you watch a season 2? Did you watch this season? I want to know. So I'm your girl, Damita Jo, and I'll see you guys in the next video.